Fruity, honeyed and endlessly versatile, Speyside is Scotland's most iconic and most productive whisky region. I'll explain why and recommend a few drams you have to try. Hey guys, I'm Nathan Martin, the Whisky Scribe. I'm a whisky enthusiast and I love all things whisky. Now you'll often hear whisky snobs talk about which region a whisky comes from based on just the taste alone. So in this video series, I'm going to take you through the 5 official whisky regions of Scotland, how the region itself affects the flavours that region is known for, and recommend some whiskies that are really great examples of that region's flavour. So you too can be a whisky snob. Today we're exploring Speyside, the heart of Scotch whisky. From lush glens to the River Spey, it's home to some of the world's most beloved drams. I'll also recommend an affordable Speyside whisky that's a great example of the flavours this region is known for. The Speyside region is nestled in the lower northeast corner of the Highlands between Inverness and Aberdeen. It's an incredibly fertile landscape, dotted with glens and hills centred around the running of the River Spey, for which the region is named. The River Spey is considered to be the finest river in Scotland, with incredibly pure waters flowing from its source in the Monolith Mountains. It is one of the most important and productive salmon rivers in the UK, and also incredibly useful for making whisky. So distillers of this region will tell you that the soft, mineral-rich water is perfect for producing smooth, complex, intricate whiskies. And the region itself is also quite warm and dry, so coupled with that access to the really pure water source, it's perfect for growing barley. So with these already favourable conditions, when the Great Northern Railway was built in the late 19th century, it facilitated a lot of transport of additional barley, barrels and coal to the region, giving it a further boost. And that's why today there are over 50 whisky distilleries throughout the Speyside region. In fact, the region is responsible for the production of 50 to 60% of Scottish malt whisky. That is the very reason it is a whisky region. Now previously I went through the Highland region and how it was such a large whisky region that it's been broken down into sub-regions, and the Speyside region used to be a sub-region of Highlands. In fact, it was only in 2009 that Speyside became an official whisky region. However, while it is an official whisky region, it is still somehow classed as a sub-region of Highlands. So distilleries within Speyside can call themselves a Speyside whisky, or they can call themselves a Highland whisky. Balvenie Distillery is located within the Speyside region, but all of their marketing refers to their whisky as a Highland malt. But what makes Speyside whisky stand out? Speyside whiskies are renowned for their elegant and approachable fruit-forward flavour profiles. While there can be variances in flavour between different distilleries, the sorts of flavours you can expect from Speyside include fruity notes, so think crisp apple, pear and dried fruits, honey and vanilla, a hallmark sweetness that defines many Speyside drams, and caramel and spice, which is often imparted by maturation in sherry casks, which is very common amongst Speyside distilleries. Thanks to these characteristics, Speyside whiskies often appeal to a very broad audience, from people who are new to Scotch to whisky aficionados that are looking for really complex flavours without that harsh peaty smokiness. Now, as Speyside is home to over 50 different whisky distilleries, I'm not going to go through them all right here. I will include a list in the description down below, but some of the notable distillery names that you should look out for are the Glenlivet, which is a pioneer in single malts, offering a light fruity style. Macallan, known for its sherry cask maturation and rich, robust whiskies and a rich price tag. Aberlour, a favourite for fans of sherry influence and complex layers. Glenfiddich, which is one of the world's best-selling single malts, known for a pear-forward flavour profile. And Balvenie, celebrated for craftsmanship and diverse range of cask finishes. And other notable distilleries include Glenfarclas, Craiglockie, Benriach and Cragganmore. Whether you're exploring household names or hidden gems, Speyside really is a treasure trove of whisky to explore. For a quintessential Speyside experience, I'm actually going to recommend 2 different whiskies. Now, if you want to really appreciate the Speyside spirit, those fruit-forward, sweet honey and vanilla flavours, I would say go with the Glenlivet 12-year-old. The Glenlivet Distillery was the first licensed distillery in the Speyside region, and the Glenlivet 12 has been aged in ex-bourbon casks, so it doesn't have anywhere near as much of that cask influence on it, so you're really getting to taste and appreciate the flavour of the whisky itself. And the Glenlivet 12 is affordably priced and readily available just about everywhere. And the sorts of flavours you're going to get on this, on the nose, you got crisp citrus, fresh apple and a touch of vanilla. The palate, is smooth with sweet notes of honey, ripe pear and subtle oak. And then the finish is gentle and lingering with a soft spice that leaves you wanting more. This whiskey is a great example of the Speyside spirit, light, fruity and immensely drinkable. But the Speyside region is also quite known for producing whiskies that have been aged in sherry casks, so I'd be remiss if I didn't make a recommendation that had a very high sherry influence. And for that, I would say go with the Glenfarclas 12-year-old. The Glenfarclas Distillery is actually one of the few remaining distilleries in Scotland that is still family owned and operated by the original founders, and Glenfarclas ages just about all of their whiskies in sherry casks. And the Glenlivet 12 has been primarily aged in Oloroso, so you're going to get those sweet, extra sweet flavour notes coming from the sherry casks. So you can expect on the nose cinnamon, apples, oranges and apricots. The palate is full-bodied with notes of hard toffee, fruitcake, raisins, oak and spice. And then the finish, you've got ginger, cinnamon, cloves and honey. Both are really good representations of Speyside whisky. They're just at different ends of that sherry cask spectrum. That's Speyside, the most iconic and most productive whisky region in Scotland. Now, I dare say some of you probably would have come across some of these whiskies before and maybe not even known that they were from the Speyside region. So if you've got a favourite, let me know in the comments below. The other videos in this series are going to cover Highlands, Lowlands, Campbelltown, Islay, as well as an unofficial region that's sometimes the cause of some debate. So make sure you like, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next video in the series. But for now, enjoy what's in your glass, no matter where it's from, and slange. I love a good sherry bomb.